Lots of smiles.
Okay, so after taking my Psychology 101 class last semester, I became really interested in all the different aspects of dreaming, and I hope that after I'm done with this presentation, you guys will find it really interesting too. But did you know that every human has a dream every time that they sleep, whether they remember that dream or not? And some other interesting facts is Eric H. Children, who's a PhD in neuroscience, says that we spend around a third of our lives dreaming, and that we usually forget 90% of our dream in the first 10 minutes after we wake up. Another interesting fact is that the word nightmare first came from, or is supposed to have come from, a female spirit who used to haunt people while they were sleeping. But I hope that by the end of the speech you guys will all know or understand that dreams are actually really complex, and that there are a lot of different stages of dreaming, as well as a lot of different theories as to why we dream and what some of our dreams might symbolize. So dreams have been studied for a long time by psychologists and philosophers, and they continue to be really studied a lot today because they think it's really interesting to find out what is going on in our brains when we're doing something, when we're dreaming, which we do every night. But I'll start out by talking about the 5 different stages of dreaming, and then I'll talk about some of the different theories as to why we dream that have been found, and some of the different symbols that dreams might represent. So there are 5 different stages of dreaming, and according to Jules Sauter in her article, The 5 Different Stages of Dreaming, she says that we go through each stage around in a cycle of 46 times each night, and these dreams might not be in the same, or these stages might not be in the same order, but we can't be in more than one stage at a time. So stage 1 is the lightest stage of sleep. It's when your body's just starting to relax, and it's really short. It usually only lasts about 5 to 10 minutes. And then stage 2 is also very light. It's usually when your body temperature drops and your blood flow and your brain activity all start to decrease. Stage 3 is when it's pretty much a really deep sleep, but there's still some brain activity. And it would be really, if you were to wake someone up during this stage, they'd be really confused and groggy, and they wouldn't be able to focus very well. Stage 4 is the very deepest stage of sleep, and if you were to wake someone up during this, you wouldn't be able to wake someone up during this stage of sleep because they are in such a deep stage, because their brain activity is completely shut off. There's mostly just delta waves. But then stage 5 is the stage that you actually do most of the dreaming, and it's known as REM sleep, and REM stands for rapid eye movement. So this is when all the dreams occur, and it usually starts about 90 minutes after you first start to fall asleep, and the first one will last about 10 minutes, and then it'll get longer each time you enter into this REM sleep. And the last time you enter into it, it could even last up to an hour. And in order for your body not to act out during these dreams, your arms and your legs go into a type of paralysis. And they get shorter and shorter as you get older, as shown in this chart. So a 1 to 15-day-old infant will usually have about 50% REM sleep, so they'll be dreaming about 50% of the time that they're actually sleeping. A 5 to 9-year-old will have about 20% of REM sleep. And then a 70 to 85-year-old will only have about 12% of REM sleep, so they'll only be dreaming for about 12% of the time. So now that we know when we dream, I think it's kind of important to know some of the reasons that have been found on why we might dream. So none of these have been scientifically proven, but here are some of the different theories. There's the Sigmund Freud theory, which he just thinks that dreams are pretty much just repressed thoughts and motivations and actions. And he says that the things that are in the back of your mind while you're sleeping or while you're during the day is what you end up dreaming about. And he had 2 different contents to the dream. There was the manifest content, so that's the actual things that you see or hear during the dream, and then there's the latent content, and that's the repressed meaning or the hidden or psychological meaning behind the dream. And then there was also the activation synthesis theory, and that was proposed by J. Allen Hobson and Robert McClarley in 1977, and it pretty much just says that your dreams just come from when you enter into the REM stage. It triggers some emotions and memories, and then your brain tries to figure out what to do with those emotions and memories, and that's why you end up dreaming. So those are some of the different theories as to why we dream. So there's also different theories as to what your dreams might represent, so I'll give you a couple examples of those. If you were to dream about animals, it could represent, of course, nature or survival, but if you were to dream about an animal chasing you, it could represent repressed fear. If you were to dream about your hands being tied together, it could represent you being felt bound or confined. But if you were to be washing your hands during your dream, it could represent you trying to wash away the guilt. If you were to dream about missing an airplane flight or some other form of transportation, it could represent you feeling guilty for a missed opportunity, and it usually happens a lot when you're trying to make a big decision in your life. So those are some different examples of what dreams might represent. So we now know that there are 5 different stages of sleep, and they're in the very last stage of sleep, called REM sleep, or rapid eye movement. That's when the dreams usually occur. And we also know that there are many different theories as to why we might dream and as to what the dreams might represent, although none of those have been scientifically proven. So next time you wake up from one of the many dreams you'll have during your life, and you actually remember it for more than 10 minutes, then you can actually think about the fact that you're just waking up from REM sleep, and that you might even be able to figure out what your dream is telling you. So, thank you.